Good afternoon, traders. Hopefully, everyone had a great week. Indices a little mixed. Dow up, S&P up, Nasdaq down. All right, we're going to get right into the stocks that we own. One high flyer and two new stocks going into Monday. All right, let's get right into it. Okay, so the one high flyer that has been performing is Sorrento Pharmaceuticals. All right, let's bring this up on a chart and let's blow up this part of the grid. Okay. All right, so we did mention yesterday that the stock is forming a new value area right in this section, and anything above 14 is probably a buy, and anything below this 13, 12.95 level it would be a sell, right? Well, sure enough, look at that first 30-minute candle breaches that 20 intraday SMA, and then it went up all the way up to $15.04. It did pull back a little bit to 1405, 1450, but guess what? This stock is going a lot higher. There are not too many shares now in up over that value area high, so I can see the stock moving higher into next week. All right, so the next stock that we had talked about was TLRY, and how I had got into TLRY, made a few bucks on a nice spike a few days ago, and then I got out right here. I made the initial investment right here at $7.80. It spiked to $8.76. It sold off. I sold it right here after that low. I didn't make too much. I got out at 8.16. I'm still kind of on the fence on the whole marijuana sector and how are they going to really monetize this new industry. So it's more to me. I'm just completely basing this on technicals. And so I did say the first support area was going to be the 797, and sure enough, the first day of the drop, it looked like it was going to hold. And then I said the next day, the next area support, it gapped down and then it made lower lows, and I wasn't too sure about this area right here because you're kind of in no man's land. So I waited, and then I said, well, the point of control is all the way down to 739. So let's see how this holds, right? So now you have to wait until Monday. Unfortunately, you're going to have to wait through earnings if you want to hold the stock. I'm not going to hold it through earnings, so I'm going to see after earnings what I'm going to do. All right, so that's TLRY. All right, let's go over some of the positions that we have. And this next one specifically, is looking great going into Monday for a buy if you're not already in it. And is that you can see on the chart, it's ADS, right? I said yesterday it looks so close to that value area high that if we could breach that, there are not too many shares traded in the last 20 days, it'll probably move a lot higher, right? So we're right there, we breached it, we closed near the high of the day, everything is looking like this should run into next week. So let's bring this out on the weekly. All right, so this is the weekly right here. It did breach the 9 SMA, which I like. I mean, I'm telling you, if this gets right above 47 bucks next week, 47.25, I can see this going to 50, 55 pretty fast. So if you don't own this, just maybe take a small position, use today's low as your out. Watch that first 30-minute candle for your entry and exit points, right? Okay, great. Now, next stock that we own is PGTI. We got in a while ago at $17, and that actually is performing extremely well. If you see it, it made a new 52-week high in this stock, took out that last 52-week high back in October, and so you know what? It looks like this stock is just ready to run even higher. This stock will probably be bought up on pullbacks. So until anything changes, stay long. Move your stop now to even at 17. And I think you can't lose money at this point. If you want to take half off the table, great. If not, just let it run. But please move your mental stop to $17, our initial entry. Okay, so the next stock that I will bring up is ABR. Now, if you remember what I said yesterday about ABR, see now look at this new value area, right? So this is where all these shares were being traded today. If you saw this histogram from yesterday, and you could bring it up from my last video, it was right here at 1090. So this yellow line moved from the 1090 to the 1143 section right here. So it did bust through that 1091 that I said. I did add to my position, and now I've doubled my position going into Monday. So how do I play this for Monday? Well, I'm going to sound like a broken record, but I'm going to wait for that 30-minute candle, and hopefully we can see some continuation, right? You could see this being pulled back all the way down to this 20 intraday SMA before it moves up, or you could actually even see it. Let's bring it up on the Bollinger Band right here, this midpoint Bollinger Band before it continues on its uptrend. The way I'm going to play this is I'm going to wait for that 30-minute candle and use this 20 intraday SMA as my guide. If it breaches that on the downside and it takes it out again, I will be out completely of the stock. Okay, so next stock that we didn't fare so well, I thought initially today it was going to be a monster, but it turned out to be a dud. And that's, of course, NGVC. NGVC had their earnings and it looked great. It gapped up, went up to over 17, 17.25, and then it sold off. I had a stop at 15. It got triggered. I was in at 14.55. I have to listen to the conference call. Earnings looked like they were strong at 21 cents per share. I'm going to have to go back in there and see what happened. As of right now, it did hold this value area low. I may revisit this at some point. I'm going to have to listen over the weekend of the conference call and then make a decision on if this sell-off was warranted. But as of now, I am out of NGVC with a little the 45-cent profit. Now NXTC is the next one. NXTC also had earnings today. It pretty much stayed unchanged the whole day, so that was kind of good. I'm in at 991. I'm gonna wait till Mondays to really make my decision to see what I'm gonna do. I'm a little there's a little disconcerting. They did a mixed shelf offering, which usually means they're gonna float more shares. So I'm not a fan of that. So I'm gonna maybe just cut my losses. But again, I'm gonna wait for that first 30-minute candle before I do make any decisions. Because a lot of times when they do these mixed shelf offerings, they do run the stock so to get a better price for their shares. So hopefully I get lucky. Maybe we have a 1 or 2 day, 3-day run into that $12, $13 range, and then they do their shelf offering. But in the meantime, I'm gonna watch this like a hawk. I'm gonna watch that first 30-minute candle on Monday, and I'm gonna sell on any weakness and just move on. Okay, guys, the two stocks that I really like. The first one you probably already know. I've mentioned it in the past, and it is looking really, really strong. So it's AQST. They had earnings about 5 trading days ago. It kind of moved up, breached this 20 intraday SMA, and it's pretty much hasn't looked back since then. It's right here trading above this the value area high on the 20-day. And then if you take a look at the weekly is looking strong. It's above that 9 SMA on the weekly. And then the midpoint Bollinger Band is on that second half, which looks great. And then finally, right here, the 5 is over the 13 SMA. The 5 over the 13 EMA. Okay, guys, so where to now with this? Well, I see a little bit of resistance right here in that $16.90 to $7 range. Once and if we break that, this can really run and take out this $10 price target pretty quickly. So watch this carefully. If you're not in it, if you have a 50 to 60 cent a risk reward ratio, you could risk about 50 cents on the stock. I don't really see it going back down to 475 where the initial move was, but you never know. That's where I would hold my stop. So this is a really nice stock setup. My second stock is MIST going into Monday. Now, MIST had a nice gap, and usually when you see these gaps on high volume, you know what, they'll sell off, right? But this is held on, and this is a great sign. And look, the last 2 days it held that 876 range, and then finally it just did a nice little move. Now I'm thinking going into Monday, this stock is going to probably try to retest that 1135 area that it did back on the 24th of July, right? It's been consolidating real nicely, and now it's ready for that move up. Well, let's take a look at that intraday if we can get some confirmation on that. We'll take a look. Look at it on this histogram where most of these shares were traded between 729 and 935, and now it's moving up. So how do I play this for Monday? Well, this is what I'm going to do. I'm going to see if I can get a sell-off maybe close back to this value area low, okay, and see if I could jump on it right around 934. That might be a little ambitious on my part. I don't think it's going to get that low, but you never know. So I'm going to just keep an eye on it. And if I could get this down in this area right above this a 20-day intraday SMA, that would be great at some point, and then ride this higher. All right, everyone, thank you so much for joining me. I hope everyone has a great weekend. Again, my name is Eric. You can reach me at eric@valueareatrader.com. That's eric@valueareatrader.com. And remember, always trade smart and be safe.